Hello guys and welcome back to another video on Sports Reels, and today me and Derek Vlogs will be predicting week 14 of the NFL season. And the season's coming to a close, so we have this week and 2 more weeks of predicting, and me and Derek's race is pretty close. And if you didn't know before, me and Derek predict each week of the season and we look at our results. So last week Derek went 12-3 and I went 11-4, bringing Derek's total up to 116-62 and my total up to 114-64, meaning I'm 2 games behind Derek Vlogs, but I hope to regain that lead today. So these are last week's games and NFL news. The Chiefs and the Saints have clinched playoff berths, which is cool. So let's get right into the predictions. Okay, so first we have the Chiefs versus the Dolphins. The Dolphins are looking like an actual playoff contender this year, but I just think the Chiefs are going to win it. The Chiefs' offense is way too good. They had a pretty not so great game against Denver, but in the end they clutched up mainly because their defense were able to easily stop Drew Lock, my bad. Dirk Vlogs, who you think's going to win, Chiefs versus Dolphins?
The Chiefs will win. Even though the Dolphins have been playing decent, they're not going to be able to stop Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, especially him playing really good.
Yep, and if the Chiefs wins this game, they clinch the AFC West division title. Okay, so next is the Titans at Jaguars. The Titans had a pretty bad game against the Browns first half, but the second half they came back and almost won, which was concerning for the Browns, but they just didn't have enough time, so that's why I'm going to give it to the Titans. And the Jaguars, they're tanking, so they'll probably lose on purpose, or they'll try to. So yeah, Titans get it.
Yeah, even if they weren't tanking, they're going to lose regardless because they're not going to be able to stop Derrick Henry. And then the Titans are just a better team overall. So yeah, the Titans will win.
Okay, so I think this is one of the good matchups of the week's Colts versus Raiders. Both are playoff contenders hoping to snag a wildcard spot. The Colts are hoping to tie up the division, maybe retake it going into week 15. I think the Colts are going to win this one. The Raiders looked pretty bad against the Jets. They only won because the Jets purposely blitzed a bunch of people. And basically, they lost on purpose. Some people say they didn't, but I believe that they did. And I think their offense is going to have a hard time against the Colts' pretty good defense. And Philip Rivers won't play too good, but he'll play good enough to beat the Raiders.
Yeah, I think the Raiders will win. Also, they have a really good defense. And then they have.
Would win.
What?
I said Colts would win.
No, I meant to say the Colts.
Okay.
I don't know why I said Raiders. The Colts, they have a good defense. And then on offense, they have Naheem Hines who's decent, and T.Y. Hilton, and their offense is okay, but their defense is good. So I think the Colts will be able to win.
Okay, next going is Steelers at Bills. The Steelers had a pretty big crap last week as they lost to the football team, which was pretty funny to watch live. But I think they're not going to have too great of a game Sunday. I think the Bills will actually beat them. I would say it might be close, but I think the Steelers, their offense so far hasn't been too great. Their wide receivers have been dropping a lot of catches. They have the most drops in the NFL right now. And if you can't do anything good on offense, then it's going to be difficult stopping Josh Allen. Even with the Steelers' elite defense, I think Josh Allen is just going to bombard with the air attack. And they're going to win by at least 7 or more.
Yeah, I think the Steelers, I think they finally hit their breaking point. I don't think they're going to win against the Bills because they, especially with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, just is killing defenders all over the field and he's everywhere. I think the Bills will win it, and it will be close at first, but I think the Bills will come out towards the going to the third. They'll make a comeback like the football team did.
Okay, so if our predictions remain true, the Steelers would clinch a playoff spot regardless because of a Raiders loss. So if our predictions come true, the Steelers are playoff bound. So next is Ravens and Browns. This is going to be an intense game, and this time I'm going to give it to the Browns. Usually the Browns play really bad against good teams, but last week they had a pretty good game, but the second half they were too conservative, ran the ball too much, and had too many mistakes. But I think this time they'll win. Lamar Jackson came back from COVID looking stronger than ever. He dominated the Cowboys' meager defense, and I think that won't be enough against the Browns. I think their defense is mainly going to sell, but they still don't have a good wide receiver core, the Ravens, and I think that's going to cost them. And I think the Browns are going to barely slip out of a victory.
I feel like I want to say the Browns win, but I just feel like the Ravens are going to win with Lamar Jackson. Then, as long as their defense is really good with their cornerbacks, as long as their defense continues to play strong, and then Lamar can just play pretty good, and one of their receivers, I think they'll be able to beat the Browns. I think the Browns are just going to do something wrong or dumb, and they'll lose.
Yeah, the Browns usually choke against good teams. Okay, so next is a Thursday night football matchup: Patriots at Rams. Both teams really need to win this game. The Rams need to win to stay on top of their division before they play the Seahawks next week, and the Patriots need to win to keep their playoff chances alive. This is going to be a really close game, but I'm actually going to give it to the Patriots. I think most people would say the Rams, but the Rams are too inconsistent. It doesn't look like it in their record. It's because a lot of the games they played the NFC East, and even if they played bad, they still won because the NFC East teams are pretty bad. And Jared Goff hasn't been doing so great. He had a good game last week, but the week before he did horrible against the 49ers. And I think the Patriots defense is better than the 49ers only because of injuries to the 49ers side, and I think they'll help defeat Goff's offense. And then the Patriots will just need to do just enough on offense, which I think they should be on the running game to beat the Rams by a small margin.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are still going to find a way to win, even though Cam Newton isn't playing the greatest, but the Patriots always find a way to win, even with whatever team they're dealing with. And I think as long as they stop Aaron Donald, if they just like double team or whatever they have to do, I think they can. I think they'll be able to win.
Okay, so next is Texans at Bears. The Bears' playoffs chances are all almost over, but without this win, they're never gonna make it. So they're gonna try to make a 7th seed. I think they're gonna fight really hard this game, and I think they're gonna barely win. I'll get it, barely Bears. Very funny. Never mind. Yeah, Bears are gonna win it.
Who are they playing?
Texans.
Yeah, I think they're gonna win it all. So the Texans, without now that Will Fuller is gone, now they literally have no one, and Deshaun Watson is kind of stuck in their O lines. Is like been doing Deshaun Watson just fast and athletic. I think the Bears are going to be able to win this one. I remember when they were 5-1, but I think the Bears will be able to win this.
Okay, so next is the Cowboys at the Bengals. Both teams aren't looking very great this season. The Bengals lost Joe Burrow, and they played a good first half against the Dolphins, but then they fell apart. And I just think they won't be able to win against the Cowboys. Andy Dalton's back. He's not as good as Dak, but at least he's a quarterback that can play good enough football. And it's Andy Dalton's old team, so maybe some revenge matchup here. I think the Cowboys should barely pull off the victory.
Yeah, the Bengals aren't very good now since they don't really have a quarterback, even though they have Joe Mixon and John Ross, but they don't have a defense.
Yeah,
Now
Mixon's injured.
Oh yeah, so now they only have John Ross, but he gets injured, and I don't know. And they don't have a defense, and the Cowboys don't really have a defense either. But I mean, Andy Dalton's decent, and then they have Amari Cooper and Zeke and CeeDee Lamb, so they still have pretty good offense. So the Cowboys will win.
Okay, so next week is the Broncos and Panthers. The Panthers had a disappointing loss last week, which killed their playoff chances altogether. And the Broncos lost last week Sunday night. They held back Mahomes for a long time, but you can't hold him back forever. And the offense did absolutely nothing most of the game. This is going to be a close one. I'm going to give it to the Panthers. I just feel like the Broncos' offense with Drew Lock is incapable of doing anything. So that's the only reason why I'm giving it to the Panthers.
Yeah, and then even though McCaffrey's been having ups and downs, even though he's out again, I'm pretty sure. The Panthers, I still think they'll be able to win because Robbie Anderson is doing pretty decent actually, and Teddy Bridgewater is not that bad, and the Broncos are suffering because Drew Lock's like debatable and whether or not he's playing or not. They don't have Cortland Sutton, so I think the Panthers will win this one.
Okay, next is Jets versus Seahawks. This game might be a little closer than we anticipated, mainly because Russell Wilson's not having a good second half to his season. He had a pretty big stinker against the Giants, and I just believe he won't have that good of a game, but the Jets, they're going to tank. They're going to find a way to F it up, and that's why the Seahawks will win.
Yeah, the Jets are just the Jets. I'm almost certain if there's any game that they're about to win, they're going to lose on purpose, so I think the Seahawks are just going to win.
Yeah. Okay, going next is Falcons versus Chargers. Both teams are pretty big chokers, so this will be the choke bowl. Now, I think the Chargers will choke this up more. They had a horrible game against the Patriots. Their special teams went all special needs against them, and played horrible, which is the Chargers' way. And that's what I'm going to give to the Falcons. The Falcons came pretty close against the Saints. They just couldn't finish it off. They had a last-second Hail Mary that came just short. And that's what I'm going to give to the Falcons.
Yeah, the Falcons, even though they do choke, they still have Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Todd Gurley, and Chargers just aren't really playing that well. They were at first in the beginning of the season, very, very beginning with Herbert, but I don't think they're going to be able to beat the Falcons.
Okay, going into next games, it's the Vikings at Buccaneers. The Vikings really need this win. The Buccaneers really need these wins. I'm going to give it to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers haven't been playing so well. Most of the blame is going on Tom Brady. People are saying he's getting old. He's not going to be able to have another playoff run. But I think they'll be just enough to beat the Vikings. Kirk Cousins has good games, has bad games. Recently, he's been having some good games. But I think next week he's going to have a bad one. Or not as good enough that he needs to win.
Yeah, I don't think the Bucs are going to lose to the Vikings, even though Justin Jefferson's probably going to be a contender for Offensive Rookie of the Year. And they have Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, and all that. But the Bucs, as long as Tom Brady can play good and Evans, and they don't have a problem, I think the Bucs will be able to win because they have a really good defense in their offense. Even though Chris Godwin's still getting injured and Antonio Brown's back, I still think the Bucs will be able to win.
Okay, so next is the Vikings at Buccaneers. I just did that game. The Cardinals at Giants. I think the Cardinals should win this one considerably easily. Just the Giants, they're good for the NFC East. They have a pretty good defense, but I just think Kyler Murray is going to be too fast for them. Kyler Murray's having some bad games, but I think he won't play that bad that he's going to lose this week.
Yeah, Kyler Murray. The Giants aren't that good, and the Cardinals should be fine. You know, Kyler Murray sometimes doesn't always play fantastic, but he still will play good enough. And then plus he has DeAndre and Kenyon Drake, and they should be fine.
Okay, going into the next games, the Packers at Lions. The Lions pulled off a victory against Trubisky last week, but that's mainly because their team choked real hard in the end. I'm just going to give it the Packers. The Packers don't make those mistakes. Aaron Rodgers has like 2 or 4 interceptions this year. The Packers are going to destroy them on the air attack and the ground attack with Aaron Jones.
Yeah, the Packers have Aaron Rodgers playing dominant, and Devontae Adams is playing like a top receiver, one of the top receivers this season. And then Aaron Jones, I don't think the Detroit Lions are going to be able to stop them as long as nothing dumb happens or like the Packers don't play bad. The Packers should be able to win this game. It shouldn't be too hard for them.
Okay, and if these results hold, if the Packers win and the Vikings lose, the Packers will clinch the NFC North Division title, and they will get a playoff berth, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they will get a playoff berth if they win and the Rams
The next
lose.
competition.
Oh, yes. The football team versus Niners. I'm actually going to go with the football team. I just feel like their defense is underrated. Alex Smith is good enough of a veteran to lead past the Niners' injured defense, and I'm actually going to give it to the football team. They're going to barely pull off a win like they did against Pittsburgh.
Same. I think they're going to have momentum coming in since they just beat the best team in the NFL. And then plus Terry McLaurin's just really good. And then Antoine Gibson's actually really good. He's young, so that's fine. As long as Alex Smith and the O-line can play, the defense does decent. They should be. I think they can win.
Okay, going into our last matchup, Saints at Eagles. I think the Saints should pull off this win. The Eagles are starting Jalen Hurts, which a lot of their fans wanted, and he had an okay game against the Packers, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But I just think the Saints are too good. Their offense is really good. Their defense can probably easily hold against the Eagles' terrible O-line and take the victory.
Yeah, the Eagles aren't very good, and the Saints, even though they don't have Breeze, they still have Thomas who's playing decent, and then they have Kamara who's obviously fine, and then their defense. So they should considerably easily win this game against the Eagles.
And if the Saints win this game, they'll clinch the NFC South Division title. So these are the standings. You can look on the left for AFC, right for NFC. And we had the same exact predictions, except Derek thought the Ravens will win. I thought the Browns would win, so we'll see what happens with that. And yeah, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to my channel and Derek's channel, and check out his TikTok. He posts a lot there. He's about to hit 200 followers. Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.